In his contract year, William Nylander is having a season to remember. On pace for 130 points, his price is being skyrocketed in this free agency class. We're going to be going over one team that I think should definitely make a push and who are capable of making a push in this free agency for William Nylander, and that team is the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, I'll be going over all the reasons in this video why this is the case, why the Blackhawks should do this. But before we get into that, we notice that 83% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're looking for a spot to get all your news on the Chicago Blackhawks, you're in the right spot. Make sure to stay a while, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the news. Like I said, though, William Nylander on pace for 130 points, having a season to remember, and definitely a career high in season points. Currently, he's had 87 as his highest, but like I said, 130 points on pace for this season is blowing that number completely out of the water. Now, this is obviously not something that might happen. It's definitely going to vary a bit. He's not going to be exactly 130 points, but if he does, what a pace he's on. But, William Nylander, like I said, his number is being driven through the roof. The price is going to be skyrocketed. Once thought to be around 8 to 9 million is now looking somewhere in the range of 10 to 11 million. Something that a lot of teams were initially interested on and now don't think they're going to be able to afford him. Right now, he's making just under 7 million, 6.9 with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he's definitely looking for that payday. However, the hometown team usually gets a discount, whether he wants to go back or not, and I can't really see Nylander be ecstatic to leave a team that's pretty close to a cup, but we know that they've had their struggles over the past few seasons. The Blackhawks are one team that do have a lot of cap space. Currently I think it's around 14 million, 14.3, projected to have 11.9, but they also do have a lot of contracts that are expiring in the offseason, with some variation of having to re-sign some players, and the knowledge of having to re-sign Lukas Reichel, Kevin Korchinski, Connor Bedard, the guys that we've been talking about for about a month now. Those guys are definitely going to have contracts that are going to be earning a payday in the next few years as well. And as what we've seen so far, William Nylander is wanting likely a long-term 7 to 8 year contract. Maybe might take a few shorter years, maybe 4 to 5, but 7 to 8 is seemingly what we've been seeing throughout the league unanimously from all the teams and all the executives who've been talking about this. Now, before I go any further as well, I just want to say this is not anything confirmed. There is no rumors or anything. This is just kind of all speculation about the Blackhawks potentially making a splash at William Nylander in the offseason just because it worked. They can. I think it would be a perfect fit for William Nylander with this young core that they have with Chicago. He's, right in the prime age of his career at 27 years old, 28 when this season ends, and he's having his best year of his career. Being able to play with, Lukas Reichel, Connor Bedard, the stars of this team, is definitely intriguing to, I would say, almost everybody in the league at this point. We've seen that this team has been able to exceed some expectations based on what this team has been put together as and labeled as before the season as a rebuilder. But, it's definitely a very intriguing thought to have William Nylander on this team, with the whole process of what's going to be happening over the next few years, where Chicago trying to move into this next dynasty after the Taves and Kane departures. But we know that William Nylander is going to be wanting a lot of money, and I do recommend that if you have The Athletic to check out this article. I have not put any screenshots here, just the tweet from Pierre LeBrun, just basically because I'm not sure if I can, because it's The Athletic and it's under a paywall. But Pierre LeBrun says in this tweet that he interviewed a dozen NFL front office executives, asking them what they think the price will be for William Nylander. And basically in this tweet, in this article, he goes on to say that many of the executives put him around the 9.7, 9.8 to 11.5 range. Now it's definitely a big variation there. Knowing the cap will go up in the next few seasons, 11.8 might seem like a 9 point something around then, but it's definitely going to be definitely a payday, no matter what he does for the rest of the season, and no matter who signs him, they're going to have to pay him. We know that for a fact now. But he was projected around an 8 to 9 million before the season started, but as he's exceeding expectations this year, the price is only going to go up from here. And if he does continue to do this, the price might even go up a bit higher. But many people think that the limit will be at the David Pastrnak range, around sixth or fifth place in the total contracts of this season. You can see here Erik Karlsson, David Pastrnak, 11.25, 11.5, and that is 5 and 6 on this list. And 9.75 is Johnny Gaudreau here at the last position at 17 on this list. That's where the lowest that we've really seen so far for William Nylander this season is. I do expect him to go a bit higher than that. I really don't see him making that little as of right now. And I do understand the hesitancy of many NHL teams saying that his season high is only 87 points. Even though this year he's on pace for 130, I think 87 is still a lot of hesitancy from many teams, wondering if he'll be able to continue what he's doing this season onwards. So I do understand that 11.5 is a bit steep, so I'm really thinking somewhere in like the 10, 10.2, 10.5 range is the most comfortable number for many teams. And the Blackhawks are able to do that. The Blackhawks have a lot of money, and I think that it's something that they're excited about, which, I mean, you can't really not be, knowing that you can sign many of the top players in the league with those salary but you have remaining. But Nylander is one player that I think would be very interesting to play with this team. We know how good they've been over the past few games when they're finally figuring out their groove. Lukas Reichel on the power play, finally putting him on the wing with Bedard on the first line along with Philipp Kurashev. That line gets a goal there the other day. And, it's still very much experimental this season for the Blackhawks, but adding a guy like William Nylander, who eventually will be able to replace the veterans on this team, like Corey Perry and Nick Foligno, when their time comes to an end with this team, maybe their NHL careers as well. I think that William Nylander will be a very good replacement for that, not being too old and having guys around him currently on the Maple Leafs with, like, Matthews and Marner, John Tavares, Morgan Riley, a lot of veteran presence, even though a lot of these guys are very young. And a lot of spotlight around them as well. There's eyes always on the Maple Leafs. Maybe not just on him, but he's going to be involved if they're talking about Marner Matthews, just because he's involved with them. And a lot of people think that, his point production might be inflated because of those guys. And I really don't think that's the case. We've seen him be able to work by himself before. And he's very comfortable around, guys that he might not be on a line with normally. So this would work out very well for the Blackhawks. I don't think that the Marner Matthews has too much effect on his career. I think that is someone who he likes playing with, but he don't need to. He's definitely proven that he can put up his own points playing with pretty much anybody. And as this season's a good example of it, he's been putting up points on every line, power plays, whatnot. Any point he can score, get a point on it, he does, which is something the Blackhawks need and will need going through the future. Now, it is definitely something the Blackhawks will have to think about. A lot of teams are going to be thinking about this, depending on what he does for the rest of the season, will influence his price. But I definitely think whatever it is, the Blackhawks need to get in on it just in preliminary stages at least. It may not work out with them, and that's normal. A lot of teams, he can only go to one team, he can't be on two, so there might be a team he's favored with, there might be a team he wants to go to instead, but the Blackhawks definitely going to make their push, knowing that they have at least a solid chance in my mind. But let me know what you guys think in the comments here below. This is obviously nothing confirmed, like I said. It's all kind of speculation. But I'm really intrigued to see what people think about this as well. With the Blackhawks, I haven't really seen anything where he's going to go. It's only really the price on the Maple Leafs is what we've seen so far, just because it's early in the season as well. So it's still lots of time to, let this sink in the back of your mind and think about it and sleep on it. But yeah, let me know. I really do want to hear it. I'm really intrigued to see what many other people think just because of the season, especially with the Maple Leafs. It's definitely a thing that stands on top of him rather than him standing on top of them. So, yeah, let me know. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you did enjoy the video. And that's all I got. I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.